Yes.
So, please.
Okay. First, I introduce myself, Mr. Mustafa, then you can go on. My name is Gokhan. It's okay for you?
Yeah. Okay.
My name is.
Please go.
My name is Gokhan Polat. As CFO tutor, I am here for as a CFO tutor. I provide trainings and consulting services for average training and CFP. I am risk management. My proficiency is almost in IT risk management and information security. I have background as I worked at Ersan Young and Sabancı at technology firm as a cybersecurity leader. I had several cybersecurity assessment projects and managed lots of data protection projects in GDPR and KVKK legislations. And I am also a board member of ISAKA Istanbul. And please, Mustafa, go on.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for your participation. We are all welcome to you. This is Mustafa Komut. I graduated from University of London, King's College. I did my first and second degree. I'm a computer engineer. I worked in several industries, starting from real sector, ABNB, and then I moved to the banking industry. I worked as an IT manager, and then after I joined the companies as an IT auditor and information security. I worked for Vodafone for 16 years as an acting business resilience and data privacy senior manager. I provide consultancy for several companies. I got several certification, and I am also visiting lecturer for the University of Kadir Has as a providing the lecturing for information security, data privacy, and business resilience. I do audits, provide consultancy, training for CFE Academy. These for my background. And okay, I think we could go. Please, Gokhan.
Okay. Today we are talking about GDPR and data protection stuff. In Turkey, we also deal with data protection legislations because it's very important nowadays. With the increasing technology using and protecting data became very important for all institutions, and governmental institutions declared bound by some legislation, and we see it, and in Europe we see the GDPR, which I guess it is a very leading legislation in the data protection all over the world. And Mustafa, what is your experience with GDPR?
Well, since I worked for Vodafone, acting as a DPO, I run the GDPR program throughout Turkey and with the several subsidiaries of Vodafone. So for GDPR concept, which is come to our company and also in Turkey later, but we have provided ourselves for leading to the new regulation coming from our local authority. For my side is GDPR is very tough and dealing with a lot of subjects. It takes too much time to digest for each articles. But meanwhile, we prepare ourselves based on our regulation. Most of the things that we are dealing with consent and enlightenment, these are the things that basic stuff, but privacy and security by design, which is the most challenging subject for covering for most of the GDPR requirements. Technical and administrative measures should be taken and also provides for the publicity awareness for our PIA related data.
And what do you think about ISO 27001? Can organizations deal with their legal requirements with applying this kind of standards, a generic certificate, a general standard?
We are already familiar with ISO 27001, which is the new version of 2022. which covers for cybersecurity and privacy. But meanwhile, we have got a new standard for 27701 covers for privacy requirements. Our companies, they are trying to get to the privacy concept and to get to the certification. Meanwhile, it's a de facto standard for 27001 because it mandates to have the first you must have in 27001. Compliance with GDPR, even though you got been certified for 27001, it doesn't say that you are already compliant with GDPR. I'm sure that if you have got a certification for 27001 and then apply to the GDPR, I am very happy that I complied with privacy. They will say, no, it wouldn't cover. But to be honest, it makes a lot of things to be ready for GDPR compliance, for having the certification for information security plus privacy. This is the topics that maybe is very tough for us, but we have to handle it in order to comply with our regulations. Gokhan, I have always in my mind that GDPR comes to our session with the different cases. What you think that how we can be much more taking for, let's say, privacy by design in our concept? What can be done in order to improve privacy and security by design?
I have some experience in consultancy about privacy by design. It's a strong concept which helps us to increase the maturity level of data protection in organizations. And privacy is not just the work of security people or legal people. In some companies, there is a misunderstanding about this topic. It is generally about increasing awareness, in total awareness of all levels in a company. So, for example, we need a strong governance structure. If we want to increase a privacy by design concept in a company, what does this governance structure? There should be some people from the senior management level deal with this data protection issues, and some guys again from senior management should monitor our efforts for this data protection stuff. And we should have some metrics, KPIs to again monitor if we are comply with legal requirements, if we also achieve our targets with using these data protection requirements. Because if a company does not comply, it is not just becoming comply with a legal statement. Your enterprise targets also or objectives also be parallel with these concepts, because legal institutions want you to obey their rules and apply the necessary controls. But if there is a challenge between your enterprise goals and these requirements, there could be very dramatical solutions. For example, in a previous company I was providing consultants, I had a meeting with legal people, and they told me that they do not care about legal requirements of GDPR, because they earn a lot, then they can pay the money if there is a problem with legal institutions. But they miss the point, because they thought that applying controls may decrease their speed in earning money. But they miss a thing. It is about trust. Nowadays, people pay too much attention about their data. If they lose their trust with the company they share their data, then they also give up to use their services and products. And I explained this legal person, this is about reputation. If you have some problem about data leakage, data protection, then this will affect your business targets too. So you should apply these legal requirements and monitor it from a governance level. What else? We need also some frequently meeting people. For example, who legal team, risk team, internal audit team, technology team, or their representatives should come together and assess legal their performance in data protection stuff. Otherwise, the efforts of some people in organization will not help you to increase maturity level in your organization. This is governance side. We also need to increase our technology usage. In GDPR, they want us to keep our clients or stakeholders' data in safe. So it is in this nowadays, we have lots of technology to use to guard this data, DLP, firewall, and NDR, there are lots of technologies to keep this data out of bad intended people, cyber attackers and other stuff. And so we should know to use technology to guard our data. We need processes. We need to create some process because we are collecting data, and we create some. We know what we collect in a specific, for example, process. But after a while, if we change our business services, if we change our third party we work with, then new kind of data is adding in our system. So there should be some processes to monitor this. And these are my ideas. What about you? What do you think? I guess you are in mute, Mustafa.
Fundamentals of this concept is, of course, relies on three things we already know. One is coming from the technology side, which is you mentioned. Second comes from the process, which mostly we get it from the best practices such as ISO governance 27701 and 27001. And of course, the people who are well trained and decision making. This is very important. I have noticed this one during to the data breach notification, because action should be taken immediately and the decision should be made at once. This is the most challenging part, because you should know when this incident happened, and you need to take the decision that whether there is a data leakage or PIA principle will be effective, and what I am going to do. So these are the things that we need to come up in our mind. So three things always comes us together: people, technology, and process. Now, I rely on most of course, as you know, that we are on the same side. The people are the most critical part, because they are going to involve this process in somehow, and they have to make their decision. They have to make the decision according to data breach notification. The clock is ticking, 72 hours, no excuse. In GDPR, you have to make the risk-based decision according to what happened. If something will happen to the PIA principle, you have to inform them. If really these things happened, then inform the regulator. You need to go step by step the process in all how you are going to do this. First, you have to determine what has happened, and then you do triage and angles, and then make the decision according to how it's happened, and then make the notification. Of course, you need to have DPA, data privacy impact assessment, which is mandates also GDPR. In most of the challenging part, the DPA, the privacy impact assessment for the part of the data breach notification, either coming from the privacy and security by design, we always have to do it for end-to-end process. Every time should rely on for whether it impacts on PIA principles or not, how it is impacted, high, medium, or low, what will happen, what is the measures that I need to take, administrative and technical measures. Administrative measures should be taken beforehand, dealing with NDA, data processing agreement, and also for legislation purposes, and then acting for the due diligence and maybe the visit or audit our whether it can be our vendor or insider or intruder or whatever it is. These are the things that we have to come up and face in reality. Otherwise, we cannot challenge ourselves for making something that improve our process. You know, most of the standards says that process improvement, make your agile development, whatever it is, you need to come in that phase that you need to take the action beforehand. Most of the security people, as we are, comes to a decision to be made after these things happened. But before that, it should come to us. Us must might believe that. But
Okay.
quite hot topic. We can do whatever it is. So, for example, Article 33 says that identification, initial investigation, immediate actions, analysis, and remediation for data breach notification. So these are the core part of the GDPR, data breach notification. Other things should be done beforehand.
And I have a question for you. Okay. What do you think about this ISO 27000, 27701? Can if a company, for example, if applies this standard or follows the requirements of this standard, will it help the company to comply with GDPR requirements?
I will say mostly yes. But of course, it doesn't protect itself like having a driving license. It doesn't protect you to having an accident. So both cases. But since the GDPR mostly maps to the 27701, it will definitely help to company because at least they should have they are going to have a new, not new, the process it's coming from the 27701. Its PDCA life cycle mandates the several requirements and also extension of 27001 has got more controls, relies on the PIA principles and also joint controllers. And also for the vendors, processors, controllers has got specific controls in it. So it will help us quite a lot.
Okay, I guess GDPR and this standard ask us to make some risk assessment for data protection stuff. I mean, first you understand your context as a company, which kind of requirements you are in, which kind of personal data you are collecting, which kind of necessities you have to obey, and to go on. Is there a difference in risk management approach between GDPR and ISO 27701?
Okay. Mostly the risk management principle gathered from the risk management principles applied to the new standard implies for risk management process end-to-end. DPA, data privacy impact assessment, risk assessments, which is the backbone of this process. Whatever is related with PIA data related comes with the risk assessment, what will happen, and then enforces you to make the decision. Controls should be embedded through the life cycle, and then make the new design according to the controls that in place. So this standard and also approach makes quite happy, at least for end users who are going to implement for their side. This is a good approach and also provides a lot of opportunity for the people, especially for DPOs, makes their company much more systematic approach. Otherwise, there are a lot of pillars in the GDPR, around 12 pillars, and then makes the design according to the GDPR requirements. Mm-hmm. Since you have asked me a question, I've got another question for you. So I don't know, maybe somehow we can go in that way. Well, how do you think that GDPR makes us our life easy? This is the friendly question in
it's
your
just,
life.
it's, yeah. Okay. Before, people were not aware of how entities were using their data. So we have no problem with sharing our data, but after a while we understand entities use this data to manipulate our understandings, right? They manipulate our understanding, they use our data, they sell our data for the third parties maybe we don't want to work with. So after a while we see we cannot stop this kind of businesses with our personal, efforts. And government and institutions see it as also a strategic issue, because you have citizens, some people gain the data about your citizens, and they use this data to manipulate their intentions. So with this kind of legislations, ordinary people will have a understanding that their personal data is protected. Third party, they do not let, or they have no business relation, or they have a business relation, but they did not provide them some certain consents, will not able to use their data and manipulate this data, and they will not suffer because of their uh, conducts or applications. It is very important. And the other thing, for example, for me, before there were lots of messages coming from marketing teams from companies, and it makes me crazy. Thanks to this legislation, people or companies give up these kind of behaviors. The other thing, I have now my own, um, our personal data defines us. So I don't want others to penetrate my life without my consent. Now, this kind of legislation again help to increase my own personal privacy, and it is about my again personality. And thanks to this legislation, I can create and protect my own personal area.
Because it also implies for the cookie management, because cookies takes our personal behavior and also the data that we are sharing with the vendor, whatever it is. So privacy by design and technical and administrative measures protects us for the cookie management, who are really capturing our data and uses it for their business purposes, make much more marketing and to sell the new products and services. So these are things also governed by the GDPR mandates, especially in Article 25, specifically says that you need to, for the cookie management and also privacy design whatsoever, you have to get the first consent, alignment, make the data privacy impact assessment at the beginning of the stage.
But generally, I guess the problematic companies or entities are not sure if they comply with this kind of legislation or not. They buy technologies, they implement these technologies, they hire people, they hire consultants, they pay a lot of money for the projects, and they are not sure about return of investment of these kind of investments. Do you have experience about this? How does a company can understand if it is on the right way to increase their maturity in data protection according to GDPR, or what is its current situation? How should they assess it?
They should assess first what is their stage. In order to go their stage, to make the gap assessment, of course, they have to have, first of all, awareness, and for the publicity or whatever it is, their information security team, they should be aware that we have to do something. Means that also for the top management or senior management, they have to deal with the API data. As soon as this commitment comes from the top level, or we need to increase as a consultant people to company, they have to do the first gap assessment. They believe that if gap assessment can increase or to set the target that they are going to reach, they will comply with the regulation. They should come up with the GDPR requirements, use the best frameworks such as we just mentioned 27701, 27001, and then they comply and enforce the rules. According to that rules, they are going to able to see that they are the level, and then conduct another assessment for the consultancy how they are going to do for their roadmap towards the GDPR compliance. First, they need to take the technical measures. Second, administrative measures. Before that, assign DPO and well-established organization. Means that providing the accountability to these people, providing privacy team for the end-to-end design, privacy counselor, legal people, privacy manager. Program manager consists of the privacy team or giving that the privacy management assigned by the top level, providing for the privacy management as a GDPR, and then make the matrix organization provides the governing from the other people who are dealing with data processing. Privacy heroes, they should be accountable for all privacy management process. Means that whatever they are dealing with to do the privacy impact assessment, risk assessment, and then getting the approval from the privacy management. These organization, the maturity level, one by one should go. I have seen several companies almost at the beginning stage, but I am happy that they believe that they have to do something. At least I've seen in the market, oh, something will happen. Who is going to protect our privacy PIA principles? How we are going to manage this? What will happen if there is something my customer data will get stolen? What I am going to do? These people, and also fines. We know that big companies get being fined very heavy GDPR authorities, and even though in Turkey, so this is comes the maturity for the people, and also for make the campaign management, for the getting in touch the end users, provide more training, but this should be governed by the well-established organization and program management. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, I am going to do this. I am going no. It should be made like proper and corporate way of program management. This should be managed in that way.
Thank you, because very important. They invest lots of money, but they cannot reach the point they want in the maturity levels. And I have another question. What do you think if they apply this standard, ISO standard, the awareness about their maturity level will increase? For example, if they have a project team about data protection, GDPR compliance, if they have this kind of standard, ISO 27701, does this may help them to understand their maturity level or monitor the data protection project in a healthy way?
Okay. According to my experience, people don't like to be don't like to be called ISO blah blah quality whatsoever. First, they need to do for the business. What I am going to do? I am going to do comply with standard, or what is to do with my business? So we have to create what this standard stands for their business. This is very important, because otherwise they are dealing with that kind of the kind of paper. Whoa, Mustafa, you are forcing us to get a paper. Behind that, you need to do a lot of work. They understand, but first we have to increase the maturity level or awareness level. This is something that it helps you to comply and also improve your business and makes the competitor other market with respect to the others. So this is what it behind that. Standard is one way, but main approach is we are going to do and improve your maturity level, and also for the increase for awareness in company-wide, providing privacy management. So privacy is the target, should be. Quality standards, of course, is behind that, but mostly we have to focus on for the business side. What is important for them? Why is this important? What if they want to improve? Other things, it's just paper for them.
Sometimes in an organization, the data protection responsible people responsible in data protection may face lots of problems because some business departments think that this kind of legislation hinder their effectiveness or decrease their speed. So this, for example, GDPR, the people from people responsible from GDPR compliance may face lots of problems to increase the maturity level. And for my experience, sometimes we advise external audit for this assessment, because we apply some requirements, we apply technologies, processes. As I said, we provide trainings for our people, and we are not sure about our maturity level if we answer the requirements of GDPR. But this time, maybe it is better. It's a good answer to work with external auditors, because senior management in all companies tend to listen external parts more easily, right?
That's true. That's true. Definitely.
Have you experienced this kind of consultancy in GDPR side?
Yes, I did. Because they are much more keen on the external parties more than the people, because they believe that even though maybe you have little experience, but they think that you have got observation, you got freedom, and also independencies. They take this kind of accountability from your side that, okay, maybe Mustafa or Gokhan, they are the right person. Maybe they will do something for us because they can't see in their organization. They need somebody from the outsider that who tells you to do this, or much better to do in that way. That's I've seen it in that way.
Okay. And I have another question. If you don't have a question for me,
I have that. Yes, I have. Okay, later, but ask you first.
Okay. Do you think the requirements about cyber security issues in listed in GDPR enough for a company to protect itself? For example, if I apply all the requirements listed in GDPR for information security, cyber security, will it enough for me?
No. Regulation standards makes the framework and draws the line that this is the minimum. Standard comes from the Latin, says that the minimum. So minimum.
I haven't known that.
Yes, standard means
it's a good
minimum.
Info.
Yes, minimum. So we expect more than maximum. So in order to reach that point.
Now, but you are putting us very, very extremely hard position, because what is the optimum level of cybersecurity and data protection?
Yes. So you need to develop a lot of things more than standard or regulation, whatever it is you bring in your hand. So this is coming from your experience, your know-how, and also your expertise, and then makes the company business according to because the things that you are facing in the reality is in the regulation that hasn't faced it before. You have seen a lot of things in the reality, and then you make that your decision according to the what happened. This is not written in the standard or the regulation, because you discovered, you find the solution in that moment. So this is what is in order to develop a lot of things.
I guess the important point is business impact assessment and risk management. I guess is process and using ISO standards a company can find effective optimum level for cybersecurity in GDPR. Like we can use, for example, ISO 31000 to apply a proper risk management and understand our context and our cybersecurity gaps, threats, risks, and then can apply the requirements with using also 27001. As we know, the latest version also focused on cybersecurity side more heavily, and also we add some other requirements with using 27701. We can have a strong maturity level according to GDPR, but we need to invest a lot. So we should also monitor all the processes, right?
That's true. Yeah, that brings us the people who are dealing with cybersecurity, privacy, information security, brings to all our experience and then create your decision, because this is the way that we are dealing with almost at the beginning, and then we move up to the next level according to what we have learned, lessons learned, post-mortems. This helps us a lot of things, and you create something according to your experience, your know-how, your colleagues from the world ecosystem, and then move to the next stage. Now, Gokhan, I have another question for you, Juan.
Okay.
Well, I keep in my mind that for if I want to apply for GDPR and then take to the technical measures, privacy by design, and what kind of things that, as a, let's say, for the company who wants to develop a software that saying that this is comply with GDPR or ISO 27701, what kind of experience?
Okay. We face this problem. It is a very huge problem because in software development process, generally heavily technical guys involved, and they have very limited knowledge and interest in legal requirements because they are artists, art guys. They are creating something and they don't care about it. They focus on functionality, and they have some time problems and some financial problems because they should finish it in a limited time in this manner. So we should help them. We should help them to create a proper software according to some legislation like GDPR. So from the beginning of feasibility assessment, because STLC is a project, like all other projects, we should first create a business case. What is this software? How this software help me in my business problems? How this software affect my legal requirements? I should list this and think on it. And this feasibility assessment, I should involve in the team, risk managers, risk experts, legal experts, and security experts. Generally, in STLC process, we don't see this kind of approaches. There are just business people and software development people. Because of this, we all see some problems at the end of this process. So from the beginning of the STLC process, we should see legal and security advisors according to GDPR. And second, we have lots of tests, in the STLC process to be sure that yes, this tool, this technology or this software provides the functionality I need. Also, there should be some tests for GDPR requirements. Sorry for that. In my previous company, they created an extremely important software for the company, but from the last phase, it was about to go to live. we ask for the project manager to test this software and its functionality according to KVKK, another kind of data protection law. And after our assessment, we faced lots of gaps and problems in this assessment because they refuse us to involve this kind of project. So if we want to have a comply software, so we should first start at the software development process. We should add people who has data about compliance involved in this kind of process, and we should listen to their advices. Our requirements are not just limited to time, functionality, and financial. We should also add legal requirements in our risk assessment factors. Is it okay?
Yes, yes. It's quite challenging to these people. I know that. I have also faced it in our daily life, but it's important to point out that people who are dealing with this, they have to take care of something that at the beginning, as I told you,
Yeah.
we are security people. These things always come to last point. Okay, final point. Approve this or not approve. If you don't approve, they are going to challenge you, and then maybe some abuse you, and then claim to your sprint manager whatsoever. But we are challenging this kind of stuff.
In this case, the main problem is attitude and understanding of senior management, because none of us decide who will involve in this kind of projects. They decide. So, and the senior management has a strong understanding of data protection, cybersecurity issues, or legal requirements. So without this understanding, we cannot, for example, decide that we will check this software, or software development people, experts will not let us to get inside these processes. So as expert in this area, we should also help training about senior management in this area.
Yeah. I always say that top management is the key factor of all the governance and compliance issues.
Yeah.
We have to convince them in somehow. I have final question just from my side is, imagine that in 10 years or 20 years later, how you see the maturity level or related with GDPR, privacy, or security, or cyber
How
threat?
many years? How many years? Can you repeat again?
10 years, let's say 10 years, 1 decade.
It's very hard because everything is changing. Technology is changing, politics is changing, understanding of people are changing. So it is very hard to guess what will happen, but it is a common idea. Some people thought that the data protection trend will decrease, or intentional data. No, I don't believe that. People are very interested in their usage of their personal data, and this trend will go, and the organizations who pay attention about the trust, increasing trust about using data, will win in long term. This is maybe some company now are not do not want to apply these requirements because they think it is not good with their enterprise goals. But companies who apply the tenets of privacy by design concept will increase their data protection maturity level, and they increase the trust with their clients, and it also positively affects their services, products, and portfolio. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so too. Because another thing also, you see now in 10 years, I see there are a lot of startups business coming. So I've been reading several articles. Companies will getting smaller and smaller. People who are, they call them white collar people, developer, engineers, have much less work than before. You know, there is a generation AID comes up. So these are the things that we will lose our jobs, but because most of the things will be managed from this new technology, generative AI, and also fintech. These are the things, line of business developing. And also important part, also PIA data, related PIA data still become much more important for the business. Even though we're a small startup, you are going to use the personal data, definitely.
Thank you, Mustafa. I guess we are now at the end of our speech, but before we close, I want to share our short survey with our participants. Thank you for participation about it. Can you also answer the questions in this area? Please, I am asking for our participants. And if you have also questions, please write. We will try to answer your questions. Data protection topic is very high topic, and it has lots of dimensions, and it's very hard to complete a topic in 1 hour. But I am very happy to meet with you,
Yes,
Mustafa, again.
Yes, again, yes.
And also see you in Istanbul again.
Yes, hopefully. We will cross the finger, and then hopefully we will have another hot topic.
Yes. Is there any question? We are ending our session, I guess.
Yes. We are expecting your questions, dear guests. If you are happy with our talk, if you'd like to share your experience,
likes. And please don't hesitate to get connected with us in social media, especially in LinkedIn, because we have LinkedIn profile and we sometimes share some contents. We also can share, we can reply or if you have a further questions. I am very happy to meet you. I guess we're ending, Mustafa.
Yes, me too.